Some women do not respect their husbands. Some women would talk to their husbands anyhow, anywhere. That really gets to men.
You know what that means. Let's talk. Can we?
Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of Life, Love and Relationships. My name is Oluwakemi. Thank you all so much for the love received on the video, How to Choose a Husband. Today we are dealing with how to choose a wife, and we thought we should also bring you some male nuances on the topic. What do they look out for when they're choosing a wife? What are the things that are important to them? And to do that with me today is nobody else but Mr. Makanju himself. Mr. Makanju, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Today we want to learn how to choose a wife. What should today's men who are trying to get married, what are the things they should look out for? So we want to learn from you. What are the things that were important to you when you were choosing a wife?
Thank you very much for having me on this show. So let's set the spiritual part aside.
We will definitely get to it.
We'll get to it, yes. So the things that that I was looking for, first of all, attraction, physical attraction.
My guy likes fine girl.
And not just the face alone, of course, the structure. If I can, yes,
Brother Tosin, oh.
I am being sincere here.
Oh, we love it.
Good, the structure, and
What is structure? The way the body is.
the body frame. Yes, let's put it like that. Very, very important. And again, I also was hoping that this person will be very, very independent. Someone that would, that can also hold her own, in the sense that she wants to work. She wants to, yes, not depending on the man alone.
Okay.
I also wanted someone who would also drive me, especially when I'm probably not, when I'm making certain decisions that are not, that does not align. Somebody that would put me in check whenever, I was just about to make any wrong decision, to be precise. And I wanted that person to also be outspoken, to be able to, yes, I wanted that person to be outspoken. I've never had any issue with, okay, I want to say this. So a couple of years ago, I was speaking to some of my colleagues at work when I was still under paid employment, and we were discussing about how would we feel if our wives were earning more than us.
You were not married at the time.
I wasn't married. And some okay, well, I think we were about four of us, and then two were like, never, it would never happen. They cannot even stand this. And I was curious. I was wondering that why is it so difficult?
What was the answer for you?
For me, my wife, I don't even care. Honestly,
you don't care, or you don't mind?
I don't mind, actually. Let me use that. I don't care. I don't mind my wife earning more, as long as we have an understanding.
And this was before you got married. You always didn't mind that your wife, it was okay with you,
yes,
if your wife earned more than you.
Yes. The only thing that would probably make me not want such to happen is probably if I wasn't treating her well. And then, I now have to, if this woman becomes richer now, how will she be treating me? How will she, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I treat back at them that, okay, I guess you guys are not treating these ladies well. What's your fear, really? This is someone you want to spend the rest of your life with. So why is it difficult for why are you intimidated? Yes. Then I would say that. So I had somebody who was supporting me, who also didn't mind. So we were just after that conversation, then both of us sat down and we were like wondering why this time and age, why would people think like that?
So this time and age, that is nothing less than 18, 19 years ago. Yeah.
Thereabouts.
So, yeah.
Yes, thereabouts. I don't want to say what has become of
some of
them,
yeah.
But then to me, I never had any issue with it at all.
What if I may ask, what was the drive behind wanting somebody that was outspoken, wanting somebody that did it come from a knowledge of who you are? I mean, what was the drive? You wanted somebody that was outspoken.
Okay.
You wanted somebody, you didn't mind somebody that was earning more than you. What informed this type of desires?
Okay, so for me, I find it a bit difficult, or yes, to, of course, no, I don't have issue in expressing myself, but then I wanted somebody that would drive me, that would make me talk, that would make me, you know, have a proper, heart-to-heart conversation, right? I'm not shy, I'm not quiet, but I I found it hard back then to gist with females I don't have anything to do with. I could, we could just become, have proper general conversation. Um, I had, like I said earlier, it was easy for me to have conversations with people I didn't have relationship with. It was very easy because we were just, it was just an open conversation, nothing serious, nothing intimate. But I was always having difficulty in having that discussion with the person I was dating then.
Why is that?
I wonder why, really, honestly. So I just told myself that whoever I'm going to end up with should bring the best out of me when it comes to, having a heart-to-heart conversation with, you know, the person I would end up with.
Thank you. From what you've said, it's very obvious that you had clarity on what you wanted. And I've always held this view about men, maybe because I grew up with men, that men are always so very clear about what they want and what they don't want. And in most times, I don't think it's the same for women, but men always have this clarity about what they want, so they always shoot for what they want. So yeah, I'm not surprised that you had this level of clarity in terms of the type of person you wanted to marry.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to know, why were these qualities important to you? You wanted an outspoken person, you wanted somebody that was independent, you wanted, somebody that had a level of physical beauty.
Yes.
Yeah. Why were these important to you?
It was very clear. I mean, it's good to be very clear, and those were the things that I knew would give me peace of mind, really. Those were the things I knew would give me peace of mind. I knew that I wanted someone that would be able to make our own decision as well, but also including me. And even when I'm about to, like I said earlier, somebody who would put me in check. I don't want somebody I would just say, do this, and she won't be able to question it. I wanted somebody that would be able to speak back and say,
You wanted somebody who's independent.
yes, okay, why should we do it like this? How about trying this?
That was before you met me, right?
Oh yeah. So, it was very important to me because I didn't want to just lord over anybody. Right. No, I didn't want that. I wanted somebody that would be able to challenge certain things, and we can make those decisions together. Not that if it eventually backfires and then the other party now says, I told you, that kind of
So
thing.
you didn't want to take responsibility.
Not that.
No, because I'm asking this question from the point of view that structurally in the Bible, the man is the leader of the home. So when you're looking for a woman who you also want to have shared responsibility, according to what you said.
I'll come back to that.
How was it important for you to also be the leader in the home, for you to also lead this independent, outspoken, beautiful woman?
Okay. The way the home is structured, there are certain decisions that the man will take without having to involve the woman. Yes.
Like what?
There are certain decisions that the man will stand his ground on. This is the way to go on this matter, and he stands on it. He may not even discuss it. So whatever happens, he takes it up. He holds on to the responsibility, and he owns that responsibility. Okay. And then he can apologize and say, yes, this happened.
If it doesn't work.
If it doesn't work, that I solely took this, and I felt it was going to be good for us, for the family. Okay. I apologize because it didn't work out, but we would try again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I still want to know how you're looking for all of this. How did you take up that knowledge, that's knowing that you still have to be the leader of the home? How did you balance that desire? Because these qualities, those women are usually very fierce, strongly opinionated, and you still have to take up the role of the leader in the home.
So men have a way of not all men, me in particular, let me speak about myself. I have a way of balancing things and not to allow friction to happen to happen in the house, because these qualities that I was looking for, I knew that, of course, at some point it would shake me a bit in, yeah, it would shake me a bit in certain decisions that I want to make, and I know that the my partner would probably not agree with it, but I would still go ahead and do those things. And but then the ones that I know that, hey, I have to have, let me have this conversation with this woman, and so that peace can reign, you know. So you as a man and as a leader in your home, you must learn to balance things. You must be able to, if you want peace to reign, not because you feel that whatever decision you make would go wrong, you must carry the woman along. Not all the time. Yes, I'm saying this. That's, like I said, there are some certain decisions that you have to make on your own without your wife.
Like what?
No, what?
I thought it was partnership.
Yes, don't forget what I said. You are going to, there are some things that you guys have to sit down, discuss, and make,
Okay, maybe we should deal with this on another episode, because
Right.
we're dwelling too long on it. I mean, I just thought that it was partnership. You should carry your partner along. It's not like you're necessarily taking in a position, or but just she should know, because she, in some cases, she even has to be the one to execute those decisions. So carrying her along, I think, has a turn. But the real question that I wanted to ask is: so even though you knew that the decision to marry a strong, opinionated woman, an independent, outspoken woman, might shake you, did not deter you from still marrying that type of woman?
Oh yes.
Why?
Because I know that at the end of the day, it will still be a positive for me. It will be a positive.
It was going to be an
for the-
addition.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So going back to what you said the other time about probably leaving out your partner in making certain decisions. I don't have plans to leave my partner out of whatever decision I want to make, but I'm just saying that there are some decisions that needs to be probably made by the man of the house.
Okay, there you go again. Maybe you should just enlighten us.
I just wanted to point out that,
like what?
like, there are some decisions, there are some things, there's some risk that men take, and yes, there's some risk that some men take, and they of course it's definitely is basically for the what word can I use right now?
For the good of the
For
family.
the good of the family, yeah, for the greater good. Exactly.
It's interesting that you already mentioned that you don't mind somebody who challenges you, but you also want peace. That's really interesting. And then you've also said that you were mindful enough to say you also would give the same peace to the same person, because sometimes there's this general notion that men are looking for women that will give them peace, but they are not actively thinking of how those actions also take away peace from the lady or give peace to the lady. So I find it interesting that you thought about this while you were looking out for
Yes.
someone. What are some red flags that's made you walk away from past relationships, or what are green flags that made you decide, oh, this is, I know you've mentioned the qualities you were looking for, but there are always more, right? There are more things to a lady than those three things. So what are some green flags that would make you say, okay, this is a person, or what are red flags that would make you say, this one is a no? Especially the red flags.
Red flags. Okay. Me, myself, and I. Yes, I have experienced this in the past, and I just was like, what am I doing here? Exactly. As in, this person was just all about herself, and I was like, Tosin, don't do this to yourself. You need to find a way of just exiting. Don't, because I've never been in a toxic relationship before in my life, as in has to be violence and all that. No, at all. But I have those red flags. Sorry. This particular relationship, I'm going to just cite a few. This particular relationship, this person was just all about herself, what she wanted, not being responsible for any other person but herself. And it was just, of course, I felt it was okay. Maybe she would come around, and and that was a no-no for me. That was a no-no for me. Again, like I said, another red flag is if this person is just about taking and not giving, just taking. not giving. Those were those were really, really red flags for me. And this was just coming from another person. So I had to learn a lot before, ended up with this beautiful woman.
So how, I mean, I was expecting you to talk about things like, those things they tell us that men like. You haven't mentioned any of those.
That meant that
Like that men live on, like respect. You've
What
not
do you mean?
mentioned that, and I'm so surprised.
Oh, well, okay. Well, maybe, of course, that's very key. Funny enough, the two relationships that I just mentioned, there were respects. I mean, we had respect for one another. But then, I don't know what happens. It's as if something just gets off and they begin to act funny. So there was always respect, because I won't say the way I carry myself. I try to, put that person in my position. So I try to treat them well. But then, so with that alone, they see that, and they don't also, so they reciprocate. Do you understand? But if it comes to something else, everything just changes, and I'm like, really?
I'm happy to hear that you know that self-respect, because from what you've said now, it means that you always carried or coordinated yourself in a way that the people you're dating can respect you. So
Yes.
that means you have a level of self-respect.
Yes, I do.
So self-respect also begets respect from those people.
Yes.
What are the other red flags? Things that just you see and you're like, nah.
So, like those two that I mentioned, they were very important to me. And the moment I see those things, I begin to,
Those are just selfishness, just wanting
Yes.
everything for yourself. And then what's the second one?
selfishness, and just wanting
To take.
and not even, reciprocate. This person has done so much. I'm not asking you, but you should know what to do.
Are there more red flags?
Those are the two major ones for me.
What are the things that you wish women understood more that men need in a marriage?
Okay. So the first thing you just mentioned before this question, respect. Some women do not respect their husbands. Some women would talk to their husbands anyhow, anywhere. That really gets to men. And when they begin to act funny, you won't. I wish women would put, because that's one thing women won't take. Like
Women won't take disrespect.
And they won't allow you speak to them anyhow outside.
Maybe because of the kind of women you've dated outspoken women, you've dated independent women. Maybe that's why. But I think you're right. People tend to think it's just the men that want respect. I think it's both.
It's both ways.
For instance, I will not stick to the tiniest sign of disrespect. I'm off. So I think we should get it right. It's not just the men that want respect. I think it's both
ways.
parties. Yeah.
Men also want you to listen to what they are not even saying. You understand? They need you to, just like take them up and wear them so that you will understand who they really are.
We will not be witch.
I know.
How is supposed to figure it out if you're not saying it?
Well, I know some say it, some speak out, some discuss it. So I'm just saying. So I have a group of friends that we sit down at times, or we chat, and then bring up a lot of topics, and they say all these things that, why are these women not seeing these things? Why are they not?
Because you're not saying it.
You can't say that, because I know some are saying it, but some women are just. Could it be that they also have of course, they have their own community of women that they speak with, and whatever. Probably if this particular style is working for this lady, she wants to bring it into the group, and then the other women can copy from it and begin to misbehave at home. It doesn't work that way. And also, men also have this. We've had men that have lost their jobs, right? And when they were still working, and when they were still in active service, they were providing. And then the moment, probably they lost their jobs, the women became something else in the house. I mean, we've had cases. Yes, we've had cases. And so that alone will turn that man to a beast. That if forever he comes back, to regain his, if I may use the word crown, becomes very, very aggressive towards that was such women.
Yeah.
You know,
You're right. I've seen marriages that did not survive this kind of challenge. I've seen marriages like that.
so
Yeah.
men just want, like you said, yes, as much as they want peace, and as much as the women also want peace from the other end, it must be reciprocal.
Yeah.
It's very important. The most important thing is how women should find a way. Maybe they should find a way to listen to what the men are not saying, what we're not saying.
But I think it's wickedness.
Why
Honestly.
would you say that?
Because how would you expect somebody to hear what you're not saying? But that, just, you don't know how that thing is frustrating. Communicate it, say it out. No matter how. See, one thing that I'm learning about relationships is there are going to be those uncomfortable conversations. If the two of you would truly come to a point where you bond, there will be uncomfortable conversations, but they must be had. They must be had if you truly want to work together, if you truly seek understanding. You get what I mean?
I do.
They might be uncomfortable. You've lost your job. The woman might want to step in, but she might not even know to what extent. Okay, this thing is happening now. Is there a way you can cover for school fees this term? Is there a way you can cover for? Because the truth is, she might not even be able to cover it. Right? So you are expecting that she understands. But even if she understands, she just might not have the capacity to do it. So, but if two of you have conversations, she wants to do it, but the capacity is not available, then you know how both of you can then come together to solve it. Okay, can you then get a cooperative? Can you, that? I just feel that, and you know me for this. I'm a sticker for men should communicate more. I think it causes unnecessary issues because assumptions are made here and now. I mean, every now and then, and assumptions can destroy any relationship. Clear communication.
Yeah, because you could say,
has a role.
I thought you knew that. I thought without having to.
But when you have clear conversations, they may not necessarily be comfortable, they may not be, but they are needed. If you want to fight for your marriage as a man, communication is one thing that you should develop and embrace. Particularly that you're a leader. I have not point to me any leader who has been an effective leader without
communication. Effective communication.
So I think when you get to your community, help us tell them that we are begging, we are pleading. They should talk. We're not witches. They should voice out. We are comfortable, but we need it. And this kind of uncomfortable conversations also give room for you to bond.
I think men are just, some men, I won't say men, some men are afraid of being vulnerable to their partners. I don't know why. I think they are. I think they are. And that's what really, really affects,
in your experience, what do you think would make a man not to be vulnerable?
In my experience, what do you mean? Okay, so I think what I've heard from my community, my friends, would be, when they tell their wives certain things that they had done in the past, some of them would come back and say, you see, I told her, and then she now used it against me. We were having an argument, and then she spoke about it. How else does she want me to now tell her something else? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I would say that she could have said that out of anger, and I'm sure, did she come back to apologize to you that I'm sorry for? And most of them, like 75%, actually acknowledge that the women came back to apologize, but they didn't now but they now still kept their that kind of thing.
Thank you, but I don't want us to venture away from the topic. Things men look out for in relationship.
Absolutely. Respect. Number one, respect. And then
the personal things like physical attraction.
Oh yes, that's very key. But then all these things, if you are not disciplined as a man, at some point the woman is going to give birth, and then certain things that they are hyping will start to reshape. so men need to understand that part too. That okay, I want respect, number one. The physical attraction, number two, is there and everything. But having in mind that when this woman starts to give birth,
physical appearance is not always lasting. So what are those lasting things?
Oh, friendship. Friendship. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep both of you.
Yeah.
Love at some point will be there, but the friendship will keep both of you.
Yeah.
Trust.
Okay, a woman you can trust, a woman you can develop a friendship with.
Yes. A woman that has your back.
A woman you can talk to is very important.
That's important. That's the part of communication. And when if you guys are friends, I mean, you definitely have, and then someone that you can just throw yourself, you can do anything with. Like, you guys playful, you guys are playful together. You can just decide to tap and run, or just those things that kids do together, that keeps them, that bonds them. Yes, that's what men are looking for. Because at the end of the day, the children will leave the house, and then it's just both of you. So, but before they leave the house, that bond must be there. That friendship, that's what's going to keep the home. That's what's going to keep the relationship going to the very end. Physical attraction will fade away at some point, but the friendship that you guys have built from the very scratch will keep you going.
Now that we've talked about all those physical things, what, spiritually, what were the things that were important to you?
Still using myself as an example. I was also looking for someone that really loved God and that feared God. Not just a church goer, but someone that actually practiced, everything in the Bible. It might be difficult to attain that height, but someone that would how do I put it now? Wanted to grow. Someone that was prayerful. Yes, I wanted that because I knew that sometimes I could draw back a bit. Not that I don't believe in God, not that I don't pray, but I could just, draw back a bit. So I needed somebody to always be someone that could give me that nudge. Hey, you're sleeping. And then, I'm back on track. Because I knew that I could be that kind of person. That, okay, yes, spiritually, I'm climbing, and then I get a bit of distracted, maybe work or any other thing. But then I needed somebody who would quickly pick that and say, hey, guy, wake up. Don't sleep. I needed that.
Women would look for this because the belief is that the men should be the one doing this.
Let me tell you something.
So
we're all not wired the same way. You need to understand that. Some men, by nature, men are supposed to take up that responsibility without being told. Some men also take up that responsibility, right? But unfortunately, the wife happens to be stronger in that aspect. So rather than take it up on her own, she reminds her husband who her husband is, who he is supposed to be, nudges him to return. And that's why the way God has created marriage, this is your strength. You are not strong in this area. I will put this person to always nudge you to remember your place. Do you understand?
Yeah. Thank you so much. If you could tell your younger self one thing about choosing who to love and who to choose as a wife, what would it be?
I would tell my younger self to love who I can call my friend. Who I can call my friend. Not just love her alone, but somebody I can call my friend. Somebody I'm vulnerable with. Somebody I can say anything to without being ashamed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Makanju, for joining us on this episode of Life, Love, and Relationships. You've heard it from Mr. Makanju's point of view. If you're yet to subscribe, please click the subscribe button right now, and see you next week.